Give me a second.
Time's up.
Another one? Give me another one.
Okay. No. Time's up.
Okay, we're done. We're streaming. Yes.
Great.
We are not recording, though, so...
No.
Yeah.
Because that would be a great interaction. We're streaming great.
Hey, everyone. Welcome back.
Yeah.
As you can tell, we're so excited.
No, you will. You will be. God damn it.
Oh, God, Yoda.
All right. So, yeah.
Excited we will be.
Brah. Okay. I'm ready to start recording. Let's get this show on the road.
Let's do it. All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Riffs. We have one fan art to show you this week, a really hilarious one. Criana, have you seen this?
I did. Inferno just pointed out to me.
It's Ali drew it. It was when Patrick had his broken nose.
There's another picture that you might have missed. Oh, maybe you didn't. Is it the colored picture of Mila's face? Did we show that one last week?
I think we showed both the ones that Criana drew, unless she's drawn another one.
No, not that Criana drew. That Zaquina drew.
Maybe I missed that one?
Underneath the Three Galaxies photo.
Give me one second.
If you press live.
Yeah, I did. No, I don't know if we showed that or not, so let's show it.
Okay.
Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. There we go. Wow, really well done. I don't think we showed it because I don't, for some reason, remember.
I don't remember this picture.
Yes, but really well done. Well done, How did you pronounce that?
Well, I pronounced it like Zaquina.
Yeah, I think that's a good one.
Xeqwena.
Yes, Zaquina. There we go. Nicely done.
Xena.
Okay.
Zaquina.
That is all we have. And when last we left...
Yes, when we last left off, the party, for the most part, with the exception of Mila, who we're now going to say was aboard the ship, but she's helping deal with the landing party currently. The party managed to board the Sparrowhawk after the certain trap was set against these pirates, these lottery killers, and the party ambushed three individuals named Mockingbird, Rocket, and the captain, who goes by Wither. Yes, I almost said Slither, and I'm like, what? By Wither. Currently, in our current situation, before we unpause the game, for lack of a better word, Mockingbird and Rocket are trapped in a carpet of adhesion that's completely wrapped around them. They are kind of on the ground in the hallway, and there's a vibro sword sticking to the carpet adhesion as well. And then just past them, there is our compatriots, Al and Bear and Tom. And then just past them is Patrick and Wither trapped in a magical net together. And that's when we paused things, okay? So, do you guys, before I unpause combat, before I start burning some more attacks per melee or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. Do you guys want to discuss anything out of character real quick? Or are we good to just keep rolling?
I would like to discuss something real quick out of character.
Go nuts.
Because I know we were talking about strategies or plans on how to deal with this. If I think about what Al would do and how he would react, he would not be pausing combat. Just so you guys know.
What? Okay. Wait.
Well, I see. I hesitate because it's hard to talk about this without it becoming too metagamey. Yeah.
Gotcha. So in other words, before you want to talk about anything in character, you want things to be unpaused so time starts ticking.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, that's fine. All right, then I'm going to unpause combat then, and we're going to just start going. So Bear is currently sick, but he stepped backward from the net. So I'm going to have him re-roll and try not to get all nauseated. I'm going to have him do a save versus non-lethal poison, which he fails, so he's still sick. Wither is in the net. Now, Wither is not going to just stand there and do nothing. He has a guy in the net with him. Now, trying to hit someone else who's trapped with him, he's like, if we imagine, like one of those cartoon butterfly nets, like from Wile E. Coyote or something, that's draped over both him and Patrick. They're not like clung right next to each other, right? But they probably have a little bit of room to interact with each other a little bit. I'm going to have him try to touch at Patrick or grab at Patrick, but I'm going to give him a significant penalty because he's still wrapped up in the net itself. I'm going to give him a penalty of -7, right? So taking away his bonuses to hit, that will just, let me just confirm what that would be. Mm-hmm.
All right. I'm not quite sure if this is important, but it does say in the description, anybody in the net cannot attack nor defend.
People. That's assuming people outside of the net.
Okay.
Right? Like if you have people... Well, I'm going to tell you right now, it's going to go both ways.
Yep. I can't attack nor defend. It does say that you can still do actions.
Yes.
Like, you can still cast spells, but you can't, like... You can barely do anything while in it, basically.
Give me a moment here. I'm going to read the description myself, I think.
All right.
I am going to read the description myself. Listen to epic reading action!
Woohoo! Wait, I hope my viewers like reading, because we've been doing that for a long time.
Okay, Magic Net it's called?
Yep.
There it is. Which will snare 1 to 6 human-sized victims within a 10-foot area. Can't cut through. Even then, is helpless and unable to attack or defend. Okay. Yep. So where do you get the idea that you can still cast spells?
I don't think I can, since I'm inside of it.
Yeah.
There is a more advanced like description in the Ultimate Edition, because I was wondering about like if somebody did attack, how would that work? It does actually kind of explain that. Yeah, this is the base.
You know what? For now, I'm just going to go for the sake of simplicity, because I don't want to spend all this time reading about 3 different descriptions for the Magic Net.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go with the old school description for right now that says anyone caught in the Magic Net is helpless. So he is helpless, and you is helpless.
We're both helpless.
Yep. All right. As is Mockingbird and Rocket right now, they are still stuck. So, Tom?
I'm going to back off next to Bear and ask if I could take one of his swords.
He passes you a sword, doing a joint action together. Al.
Al's going
vibro
to
sword.
Rush up to the net, and he's going to...
Okay, great. As you rush up to the net, I would like you to save versus non-lethal poison, please.
Sure. Let's see here.
With that -2, if I recall correctly, because
with the -2, correct.
All right. Oh no, that's -2. Silly squee. 16.
I believe in order to save versus non-lethal poison, I think you need a 16. It should be, the number in brackets should be right next to that on your character sheet.
Right.
Can you confirm it for me?
Yes, it is 16.
Okay, so you do save. So no sicky feel for you. Okay, so you run up to the net.
And then do I need to write down?
What else do
I don't remember what the -2 was. I added it in, but do I need to write that down or?
No.
It's not a permanent -2. It's just because he's super swoopy and powerful.
Okay.
So don't worry about that.
Okay, cool.
Anyway, so you run up to the net.
And well, I have a question for you first. If I get really close to the net, how close is Patrick? Like, are they entangled together, or?
Yes, they are. They are within 3 feet of each other, tangled up in a net.
Oh, okay. Let me rephrase that. So they're not. Their limbs aren't touching each other. They're about 3 feet away. So if I'm close enough, I can shoot at him without risk of hitting Patrick. Right?
Unless you miss.
Right. Okay. I'm going to say, Patrick, how long does this thing last?
Do I have to wait until my turn to respond?
No, we'll make it a joint action.
All right. And Patrick will say meekly and weakly, seconds.
Great. Wither's turn, and you hear him say, for the first time, mind you, in a gruff, hostile voice, "Good. In a few seconds, you get the fuck off my ship, or I'm gonna kill you all myself." That's his action, while Mockingbird and Rocket still try to feebly get out of this carpet of adhesion. You do hear them cursing, by the way, while they're doing this, unable to fathom how they say, hear them like, "I've never seen a power like this," and all this other stuff. So, Tom. By the way, at the beginning of next melee round, Criana, I'm going to throw you in, so just so you know. So thanks for hanging out.
Yeah, that's cool. I'm hanging.
All right.
I am going to stay back here, and try and tell. Actually, no. I'm going to move up and try and tell Patrick to disable that as soon as he can.
Okay. Al?
Al's going to say, "That's a thought. Here's another," and he's going to fire a burst right into, or try to fire a burst right into Wither.
Okay. So, do me a favor and roll your to hit. Now, remember, don't use your aim bonus to hit. Use your burst bonus to hit if you're going to be firing a burst. And what are you firing a burst with?
The rifle.
Rifle?
Spacer.
Okay.
Rifle. So my burst bonus is +3.
Spacer laser rifle, correct?
Yes. Laser rifle.
Okay.
So that's +3. That's a 21.
Okay. He is helpless, unable to defend himself. Please roll damage.
Okay. Give me a second while I go. I forgot to look up burst damage for this gun. Hey, come here. Sorry.
The burst for the spacer laser rifle doesn't come in bursts.
Oh.
It's only a single-fired shot, aimed or wild. Spacer laser rifle.
Then I will just make this a shot to the main body and adjust tactics later. That's my fault for not looking up the description. If that's acceptable.
Yep.
Right.
Yep, that is fine. Please roll me 46.
Got it. All right. 4d6. 11.
Okay. So you do hit the you hit his main armor, and you can see some of the laser light refracting off the shiny surface. But it does also leave an impact mark as well, although not as large as one might desire. So let me just knock off a little bit of damage there, and we'll continue on. Beautiful. All right. Patrick's all out of actions. Bear isn't too sure what to do with the sword right now, honestly, because it's getting kind of cramped up by the net, and people are shooting into it. So he's going to just stay back for now. He's actually... Yeah, he's staying back. He's staying back. Wither curses, and after you shoot him, Al, he looks right at you. His eyes kind of shift towards you because he can't move all that much. And he says, "I'm going to kill you first." Mockingbird and Rocket keep doing what they do. Al?
I'm sorry, all I'm hearing is "please shoot me." I'm going to do an aim shot to his face. So called shot.
Aim shot to the head. Okay, so same rules. Minus 12. Sorry. You need to hit his head. I'm going to not say it's the full penalty because you're so close to him. I'm going to just say it's going to be half the normal head penalty. Okay, so normal head penalty is minus 6. So this time it's just a minus 3, right? You need a 12 or higher.
Got it. So, does it? It just says.
So
Okay,
why don't you
that's
just roll again then? If there's nothing there.
Oh no, it is there. It's at the very
There.
bottom.
It-
It's just
right
weird. Yeah,
right
that
above
23
the
right there.
alphabet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's weird.
Roll
I know,
damage,
right?
please.
All right.
Roll damage, please.
12.
Okay. Great. Another shot hits his helmet, causing it once again to create a scorch mark just above the crown of the helmet itself, but doesn't seem to pierce through. Okay. That's an X. Weather says you better get your shots in now. Mockingbird, Rocket, Owl.
I don't like to fly in the face of public opinion, so I'm going to take another aim shot to his face.
Okay, reroll the same attacks,
Ooh,
please.
7.
7.
That is a miss, but that's enough to do damage to his main body.
All right, so 6. I am rolling so bad.
Okay, you just wing his main body, not barely even creating a pockmark in this case, most unfortunately. So let me just do that. Good. I'm just making adjustments here as I click around. Whether you can see through his mask, he's cruel smile. He's just staring at you as you're firing at him. You got one more shot left, Al.
All right, going for it. Same thing. Going for the face. Aim shot. 15. It's weird why it's doing that. But
Roll damage.
Right. 10. Oh my god,
Okay.
my damage rolls. So many ones.
Okay. So, another shot hits the opposite side of his helmet. This one seems to create a larger scorch, and it does seem like you are doing a significant, a good amount of damage, although you can already tell, well, if this is comparing this to body armor, which you are familiar with, it looks like it's got a little bit more, it has some substance behind it still.
Mm-hmm.
Now, before we start the round over again, I'm going to go over to Mila here. So, Mila, yourself, Blink, Captain Ward, his co-pilot, his navigator, and 3 other individuals who were hired on. I'll just say their names just for reinforcement, but don't worry, you don't have to memorize this. You will not be tested. A young fellow named Paragon, who, as you're fighting, has his helmet off, and he's shooting this light expulsion from his eyes that is just singeing the armor of these guys. A very quiet, gray-skinned woman who, by the way she moves and the grace, that you might be able to recognize that she also has mind over matter implants, and this big old beast of a man, which is appropriately called Beast. They're all fighting with you, and this ambush against these boarding pirates has gone extremely well. We'll just say, for the sake of narrative, I don't know which personality would kick in at this point, right? But at the very least, with or without your contribution, up to you, already 2 of the pirates have been slayed outright, and the other 2 are now cornered into one section of the cargo bay. Now, one of them is still fighting incredibly fiercely. His reflexes and his strength is rivaling a lot of folks, but in the melee itself, it's been a little while since the boarding party, since the other group has gone onto the ship. And Blink yells at you, telling you to get into the other ship and check up on the other fellows and make sure they're okay. Okay? Are you okay to comply to that?
Okay.
Okay. All right. So as you cross the I guess you could say the tunnel between the two airlocks, between the Thunderhawk, the Sparrowhawk, and the Twilight Covenant, the two ships. You can definitely hear signs of combat as soon as you're board down the leftmost hallway. And we're going to start. I'd like to have you roll initiative if you could.
Yeah.
And then I'll describe the scene to you, and I'll throw you into combat here.
Alright, so initiative. Where is my. There we go. Sorry. Yay! What's up? How you doing?
So, 5. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing like rolling a 5.
Oh, yeah.
It's faster than Wither. There you go. So will this be Mila?
Yeah.
Okay.
Unless proven otherwise.
Gotcha. Assume Mila unless proven otherwise. I like
Correct.
it. Groovy. Okay, I don't care about insights instantly right now, Google Docs. Thanks, though.
You need
All
to
right.
know.
I'm going to X all this. So now you're not in power armor or anything else like that. You're just in regular body armor. So do you have 5 attacks per melee? I think you do.
Yeah, 5.
Groovy. So, all right. So let me put you in the right initiative order here real quick. Wonderful. Now, so what you see, now this is probably about 60 feet down the hallway, right?
Mm-hmm.
So 60 feet down the hallway, you see 2 individuals, just the tops of their helmets and like the bottoms of their boots. The rest of them are like wrapped up in this glowing yellow, like magical fly paper, all right?
Mhm.
And they're flat on the ground. Now, the fly paper itself and their bodies raise up maybe about 2.5 to 3 feet above the ground, okay?
Mhm.
Just beyond that, you see Bear with his back towards you, a sword in his hand, all right? And then just beyond Bear, another good 30 feet or so, you see you see Tom, and then just in front of him, a few more feet in front of him, Al. And just in front of Al, you see him firing into this blue glowing magic net that has 2 figures in it, but you're not too sure who's there, just who's in that net. Groovy beans?
Groovy beans.
All right, so top of the order, Tom. What would you like to do?
I'd like to hold my action.
Okay.
To try, or, well, I'll get into melee. If I
Okay,
can, right next
okay.
to
Well,
Patrick.
you can slide up next to Al. Although to tell you the truth, it is going to be like Al's going to have to move aside a little bit, like because he's in the spot that's right in front of this Wither guy, right?
Yeah.
You can step to his side, but if you want to try attack him, you're gonna have to like attack over Patrick into that.
I'm not going to attack him unless the net is done. I'm not going to do that.
Okay. Groovy. All right, but you're moving into that range.
I'm
That's the
moving
important
over
thing.
there, and that's
Okay.
what I'm going to do.
Okay, great. Al, at the beginning of your round, I would like you to roll me another save versus non-lethal poisons. Once again, at a -2 to your regular attack, to your regular roll.
Okay.
Oh.
So many ones!
once again, unfortunately, a disgusting, sickening, feverish feeling racks through your bones, causing your skin to burn up, and dizziness to fill your head, and nausea to fill your stomach. You have penalties to strike, parry, and dodge.
Right, was it 5?
And it's -5. Yeah, I'm just copying pasting what Tom has. I just did that, so we're good. So, but what would you like to do?
Oh, man. He's going to grit his teeth, try and bear it, and keep firing.
Okay, so now calculate your new penalties to try to strike this fellow.
I'm at a -1, so I'm going to go for the face.
And by the way, I'm going to change the melees that are left.
Whew, 15.
Okay, roll damage, please.
13.
Oh, you are also going to lose an attack, so I've done that for you already there, Al.
Thank you.
13. Okay. Sorry, give me a moment.
Mm-hmm.
I have like 700 documents open.
It's fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's a
Keeps
lot.
you alive.
It does. It does. Okay, another shot. This time it's a much larger pock mark that you make on the helmet. You're making good progress, I guess. Patrick, you are helpless unless you dispel the net. You can do so with a thought.
Yes, I can. Oh boy. All right, I'm going to ask Burn this. Would your character think that my character could dispel the net?
Well, yeah. The reason being is I have the Mystic Power Armor, which has this same exact ability, and just touching the dang thing would allow me to know everything about this ability.
All right.
Or when he was playing around with it during the 4 months when you were on Earth and all that good stuff.
So we would definitely say that.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Patrick is going to dispel the net.
Excellent. So that is just a thought, all right? Now, before you do anything else, it's still your turn, still your action, because it took less than a second to do, right?
Mm-hmm.
I also would like to have you do a save versus non-lethal poison.
I'm
please,
already
if you don't mind.
poisoned by him.
Oh, are you? I
Yeah.
just didn't put down the sick, I guess. My bad.
Probably not enough room.
That's okay. Oh, the net's dispelled now. There's all sorts of room.
Yay!
Always
Okay.
looking on the bright side.
All right, but what else would you like to do? So the net is gone. All right. You see, Tom is just a few feet in front of you. Al is just a few feet to your side, and this Wither fellow is just a few feet behind you.
God. So I'm going to go with instinct turn and just kind of move out of Al's shooting range.
Okay. So you have two directions in which you can go. All right. You can go back down the hallway towards now where Mila and where the carpeted individuals are. You got about 50 feet before you hit the carpet people. Or you can go backwards. The other direction is in the cockpit in which Wither emerged, and the door is still open. You've been fighting in this doorway.
Okay. Let's go into the cockpit.
Okay. All right. So we'll burn a turn there and say you go good. You can go. Your speed value is like what, 20 something now?
It's 19.
19. Well, that's close to 20.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we're gonna say you managed to clear yourself. Try to break from this combat, this melee that's going around in this doorway, and you get 20 feet into the cockpit itself. All right, the cockpit is actually quite large and has at least, it looks like, 5 different terminals, 5 different combat stations, for lack of a better word, and they all seem empty. In addition, unlike the Twilight Covenant, this has the front of the cockpit itself has this plexiglass-like material, allowing you to peer out into the blackness of space, and you can see the dots and the stars surrounding you as you survey this cockpit. Groovy beans?
Mm-hmm.
Now, with unfortunately, the doorway itself is too tight for Bear's large frame to get in between where Al and Tom is. So all he can do is provide backup, but Tom, you do hear him mutter that if you drop or lose your sword, he will give you his own again. He'll help you out real quick. All right.
All right.
Mila, what would you like to do?
All right. So, Mila walks in. Who can I see from where I'm at?
You can see nearly everyone except for Patrick.
Okay. Mila's going to lift up her arms and start waving. Go, hey, how's it going?
And with that, and happily putting that little T in to say your actions over, and some DM love your way, I'm going to test. We're going to say that's all you do, unless you want to do something else.
No, that's all I need to do.
Hey guys, how's it going? So as soon as the net dispels, Wither's cruel eyes widen a little bit as he lunges towards you, Al, reaching his hand to press against your chest. So he's going to roll to strike and try to hit you. So let me roll some. Let me just double check his bonus here real quick. Okay. I get a 16. Would you like to take a defensive action? Okay, what would you like to do?
I would like to parry, please.
Okay, so roll to parry, and as a friendly reminder, since you are feeling dizzy and nauseous, it is a -5 to parry.
Mm-hmm. So I only get a +3. And 16.
So tie goes to the defender. So what do you parry with?
The rifle.
Okay, so you knock his hand away with your rifle, preventing him any sort of contact with you in that case. All right, Mockingbird and Rocket respond to the female voice asking what's going on with curses and swears and threats. So that's nice. Tom.
Mm-hmm.
What? It's your turn.
I would like to. Am I within range for melee with Wither?
Yeah, most certainly. Yeah.
Okay, I would like to strike.
Patrick's not in your way anymore, so you're good. Okay. Roll to strike.
All right, and that will be a -1. I hit.
That is enough to hit. Now, what will Wither do? Wither just has his hands right now, so he can't really parry it any well, because what's the point of parrying a sword with your hands?
Yeah.
So he is going to... Is he going to try and dodge or not? Think. I'm going to say no for now. So roll damage. He's not going to defend himself.
3 damage.
Okay. To his main body.
Yeah.
All right. So you hear a scraping sound as you nick the shoulder of his shiny environmentally sealed battle armor, but it is clear that you have not done significant damage.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. Al?
Oh, boy. Well, despite the fact that rifles aren't the best for close-range combat, he has nothing else to use at the moment, so he is going to attempt an aim shot at the face.
Okay. So, all right. So roll to hit.
It's going to be a -1. All right. And 4.
You miss.
I miss.
So Blast, however, goes just above his head, hitting the roof, singeing it, but thankfully not carving a nice, neat little hole, perhaps creating hull breach. Instead, thankfully, this space equipped or calibrated rifle does what it's meant to do, which is to hurt people, not structures. Patrick.
Oh boy.
You, by the way, everybody heard Mila shout because it wasn't that far away, and Mila has quite a set of lungs on her.
Hi. No one's answered me yet, except the nice people who curse at me.
Well, shoot. So, Mila,
Yeah.
you hear a...
Could you repeat that?
No, I don't think I can.
Okay, so that's what I hear.
Yes, in that
Okay.
exact phrasing, too.
All right, cool.
You gonna do anything else there, Patrick?
I can't... I don't think I can jack in anywhere, so there's that.
Well, why do you say that?
Because I'm in a suit. I don't
Oh,
think I
true.
can
You'd
actually
have to take off the helmet of your suit. Yeah, that's right. This is, I mean, it's safe to do so, but not well. I guess not safe is relative. If a straight shot
I'm
hits
in
you in the
a...
head,
Yeah.
there we go. I'll just shut up. I meant environmentally safe, not combat-y safe. I'm stupid. Don't listen to me. I'm just.
Is he...
Mhm.
Is... In the doorway position,
Mhm.
where is he along that particular doorway?
Like right along the seam of it.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Do you know what I mean when I say along the seam of it? Like where the door meets the frame.
Can I try to close the door on him, is my question.
Well, you can go over to the control panel on that side and attempt it.
Okay. That's what Patrick is going to try to do.
Okay, so you go over to, while the combat is ensuing, you go over to the right side of the blast door, and you see a control panel, and you jam your fist upon the close, the emergency close, and unfortunately you hear a beep. And over the speaker it says, obstruction detected. Now, I will say, because of your background, especially because of the suite of skills that you have, that, any command can be overridden if you give it if you try hard enough, So we'll spend next turn, the next turns that you have.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to try to do that, you can.
All right.
Sound good?
Yep.
Bear a bear turns to Mila. You're very welcome. And he starts actually moving towards you, probably a good 20 feet away. In fact, now that he's done that, come on, Bear.
Come on.
Yeah.
Wow.
You can see when Bear takes a few steps towards you, he's groggy, dizzy. He kind of stumbles a little bit, but the more he moves towards you, the stronger his steps are, and you see he regains his balance rather quickly. And he says to you, Nora, are they still fighting in the other ship?
Kinda.
We can have another quick, smaller conversation here real quick. What else would he ask? He would want to know... he would just say, Tom and Al are fighting the captain. Keep an eye on these if you could. And he points to the individuals who are in the carpet.
Oh. Okay.
Okay, great. Is it okay if we both spend a turn for the sake of that interaction there, Mila?
Yeah, that's cool with me.
Okay, groovy. So, Wither, not to be deterred by you jerks trying to kill him with a growl, with a ferocious growl, he'll once again try to push his hand past your rifle there, Al, and strike at you with an open palm. Would you like to take a defensive action?
Yes, I will try to parry again.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here. That's going to be +4.
So -5.
I'm
Or
sorry, no,
are
plus
you normally in?
3, because I'm normally a +8, so -5, so +3. Got it.
Yeah.
Math! Well.
Woo.
Okay, so you do parry his other attempt to hit you aside again.
While dry heaving.
And why do I even bother giving Mockingbird and Rocket a turn? Tom.
I'm gonna try and smack him again. Woo! I crit.
You do. Now, all he could do with our rule, with my custom rules, is the only way to defend against a critical hit is do a roll with a punch if it's a blunt or explosive thing. Last time I checked, you probably keep that vibro blades relatively sharp, so I doubt it's a blunt weapon.
Mm-hmm.
So go ahead and either roll once and double the damage, or double the dice. Your choice.
I'll double the damage.
So roll
Let's
once
see
and
how it
double the...
goes.
Okay. Oh,
18.
you'll roll... Okay. 18. Now, that is significant. That's on the main body, right?
Yep.
Okay. So perhaps as he's turned to one side to try and once again clutch at Al, you see an opportunity to strike, and you slice your blade through the air, creating this huge long scrape from the back of the back of his shoulder down to almost where his waist is. And the sound actually around everyone, you can hear that horrible sound of metal screeching against metal as it does so. But that is a big ass hit. So good job. As I quickly calculate, 18 you said?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. And you can see that his body armor is looking probably a little over. Its integrity is looking probably a little bit over 50%, perhaps, with that strike. All right, Al. Okay, Al.
No, I know. I'm debating.
And muted.
Well, not yes.
Debated, muted.
I was musing debatedly.
He's muted.
That's
how I feel most days. Sorry, I got a little too real there. Ignore me.
Oh boy. He's going to. Oh man. Yeah, he's not being much help here. He's going to back off and say, "Bear, your turn."
Okay, so how far are you going to back off?
Oh gosh. Probably about 20 feet or so.
Okay. So you back off 20 feet. I would like you to give me another roll versus non-lethal poison and no penalty this time.
Okay. 14. Nope, not enough.
No. So unfortunately, the sickness still sticks with you as you do so. After Bear gives Mila a little bit of nod, and hearing... oh, wait. Bear gets an extra attack now that he's not... Well, we'll find out, Bear, because you're going back into the fray. Here's what you say, and you can see Bear's furry form go past you, Al, as he stands to your side, Tom. And he's going to strike. Before he does, we'll see how Bear do as far as the penalties go. Oh, Bear, you're so close. Sick Bear. So now his penalty to hit will be a little bit harder. He is going to try to hit this fellow's helmet, regardless of his penalties. Let's see how he does. Hey! Shit. Oh, man. Uh-oh. Weather is kind of fucked. He's going to dodge. He has to start taking some defensive actions here, frankly, because now he's got two swords that he can't really parry right now. Well... Okay, guys. Let's just pause here for a moment, because I have a serious question for you. All right?
Mm-hmm.
Because in martial arts, I would assume technically, if you went to block the hand that was swinging the sword, right, you could stop the blow, right? You could knock it aside. However, I kind of like the more movie thing, which is like the sword's coming so fast, you don't have a lot of time to do that. So pretty much what rule do you want? Because this will work for you and against you. Should we allow the pairing of bladed weapons with a hand or no?
Absolutely not.
Yeah, my personal opinion would be possibly, but it would have to have a severe penalty. If you think about how hard it would be to parry the hand behind the sword, you'd have to be incredibly skilled to do that.
Guys, it's more
Yeah,
cinematic though. It could be super cool. Listen, okay,
No.
don't laugh at me.
Okay, you know what? Okay, but why don't we take Squeeze's suggestion and do it both ways? It's hard to do. You can do it, but at a penalty.
If there's a penalty, then yes, I can see that.
Would you be down with that, Criana?
Yes, just because I like the odds on my end.
Okay.
Yes, that's why.
Give a crazy a plus 13 to hit, and they'll take anything. All right. So what do we think would be a reasonable penalty?
Wait.
-5?
She has a plus 13?
Yes. To hit in hand-to-hand, yes.
Hi.
Thank God she's
I
a
leveled up.
sweetheart. Not oh crap.
You
Nora.
finally leveled up?
Yeah. did you
Finally?
guys- Yeah. Dude,
my God.
after all these years, I've leveled up. I know.
I was just saying, thank God Mila's a sweetheart, and oh God, Nora.
Sorry.
Plus 13 to your face. All right. Anyways,
So what, are we going to assume a -5 is a reasonable penalty?
I think so.
yeah.
Okay. So we'll say -5. We'll try -5 for right now, and we'll go for there. So I'm going to. So he is going to try to parry it then at a -5. So let me just see what his bonus to parry is. Oh, okay. So there's a penalty of 1. All right, Wither. Nope.
You suck.
Wither, you.
I'm sorry I'm rooting for the other guys. Guys, if you don't mind. This would've been
Well,
cool.
Bear didn't roll great damage. Another scrape along the shoulder of his armor, but no, his helmet. He was going for the helmet. That's right. So he gets the helmet by 3, which is a lot less than what the main body armor is. Oh boy. Yep, it's a scrape along. Actually, we're going to say the scrape was right along the visor now. So now Wither's visor has his visage is scraped a little bit. Okay, so that's that. Mila, your turn.
Mila will walk over to
Uh-huh.
the people that are
The stuck people? Yeah.
what are they stuck with?
Like this glowy yellow thing.
Ooh, can I touch it?
Mm-hmm.
I touch it.
Oh, okay, you reach out and you touch it. You don't feel anything, but when you try to lift up your hand... Wait a second. No, she should actually get an opportunity to save versus it, shouldn't she?
Yes.
Yeah, she should. So, let me just quickly look up our magic carpet ride. Carpet of adhesion. Saving throw special. Okay, so I would like you to give me a saving throw versus magic.
Versus magic. Okay,
Mhm.
so is that just is D20?
Yep.
Mhm.
D20. Take that.
What'd you get? A 5. Okay.
Hi.
So when you go to you bring your hand and it's yellow and the guy, people are yelling and screaming at you underneath
Yeah.
and you touch it
Yeah.
and unfortunately your hand doesn't get unstuck. You're stuck to it. Your hand is stuck, Mila.
Oh no!
I know. Well, we'll see what you do on your turn. Wither is going to roll a D100 for a moment. Wither is going to disengage from combat, so he's going to take a step back. All right, he's going to take several steps back. He's going to step back about 10 feet, and he's going to draw his ion pistol and start leveling it towards you guys. All right, but in the interest of fairness, I'm not going to have him fire it because it takes a few seconds for him to do all that. All right. Tweedledee and Tweedledum are still stuck with Mila. Mila D. Hi. And Tom is out of actions for now. Al, what would you like to do?
Al's going to say, Mila, no, don't touch me, and then throw up in his helmet.
Oh,
Gross.
Yeah.
Gross.
Yeah.
don't suffocate.
All right, Patrick, you're out of actions. Bear is going to... Well, I'm going to do what Bear would do, and he'd break the distance between him and Wither, and he's going to try to slash the gun out of the guy's hand. Why not, right? So Bear is sick, unfortunately. So, and to get the hand, it's going to be this. No, but it's enough to hit the main body. And Wither's going to try to parry it. It's a sloppy throw. So, he succeeds. So he parries the attack. Mila, your hand is stuck.
Oh no!
I know. What do you want to do?
She's gonna grab her wrist and
Uh-huh.
start pulling.
Okay, so what's your strength score again?
My strength is 23.
Okay. I would like you to roll me a 1d20, please.
D20. Okay.
You start pulling, and actually, Al, you can see the individuals wrapped up in the carpet of adhesion start moving backwards a couple inches. Mila, you start pulling this thing along with you. Just by 2 inches right now, though, unfortunately.
Okay.
And the confused curses and screams of "What the hell is going? What is she taking us?" It comes from the people inside of the carpet. Wither is going to fire at Bear in combat, in close quarters combat. And he gets a at. Okay. Way to go, Wither, you derp. Bear is going to try and parry it. Because why not? Yeah, knocking the hand aside with his blade, and the ion shot goes off into the floor. Where the hell is she taking us? He says. Al?
I think Al is going to be absolutely amazed that Mila is dragging a carpet of adhesion along the floor. He's going to be
Yes.
like, huh?
Mm-hmm. Great. Through chunks of your own sick.
Yeah, poor Al.
Gross.
Mila?
Yeah.
Vent it out.
I don't think that's an option.
I think it is. Like, there's got to be like some sort of like suction. Don't listen to me. Just continue.
Okay, so it is your turn.
Oh wait, it's my turn.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, Mila continues doing the same thing, trying to pull her hand
Roll
off.
me another d20.
Okay. Oh.
Oh, you don't go anywhere this time. It's stuck.
Ah!
I know. Wither is going to bring a hand out to try to touch at Bear. How hot is that?
Hmm.
Oh boy. And Bear's going to try and knock that aside. Bear's going to try and knock that shit aside.
Mm-hmm.
I defender, Bear. He narrowly
Oh,
bats the hand away.
goddamn
All right.
hero.
Top of the order. Tom. You are
Let's
about
go
10
and
feet away
strike him
from Wither.
again.
Okay, so you move up to strike Wither. Okay, that's
Yeah.
fine.
No. That's my turn.
Swing and a miss. Now, Al, I would like you to roll me another save versus non-lethal poison with no penalty.
All right. Opa!
Great. So you are no longer penalized.
All right, Al's going to... it is my turn, I assume. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep, that's why.
I was
Yeah,
going
top
to
of your
say,
turn.
Mila, I'm sorry, you will not be able to pull that off of the carpet until I dispel the spell.
That's it. Patrick, unfortunately, your quarry has leapt into the cockpit with you and everyone else.
Luckily, he's not focused on me.
No, not at all.
Unluckily.
You're the least of his problems right now. He's got two
Okay.
assholes with swords trying to stab at him.
Oh, good. So he's in the cockpit with me. I do have a weapon. Okay. I'm going to hold my action.
Okay, So we're not going to burn your action yet at all. We'll just hold it. Bear will continue to attack Wither. Oh, no, he's right next to Wither. He doesn't get to try save again. Okay, excellent. I didn't say it was a called shot. Bad Inferno, so this will have to be at the main body. So Wither will attempt to parry. Oh, at a -5. Failing. All right, Bear. 11 points of damage. Excellent. Wow. A big blow from Bear. Just striking him right in the chest, causing a big divot to be caused right along the stomach, between the stomach and the chest there. So let me just say that was 11 damage. Yeah. So yeah, now his armor's looking a little worse for wear, that's for sure. Mila.
Oh, I know. It's magic. I just have to get closer. Mila puts her other hand up on it.
Oh,
Pushes.
Mila. Pushes. Roll me another save versus magic. Oh no! Isn't there an old thing of Brer Rabbit and Brer Bear with the tar baby?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's what Mila is right now. For those of you who don't know it, it's kind of old and kind of racist, but it's an old-timey folk thing. So Mila's just getting stucker and stucker. So now her right hand is stuck. So now Wither takes... He's going to be burning a couple turns in doing this. And it's not a direct action against you guys. What he does again is he disengages from combat. He rolls away, goes away, and he runs to one of the control panels, actually one that's near the center of this cockpit. And he yells out, "Any of you guys come close enough, and I'm going to blow us all to shit." And you see his hand hovering over a control panel. I'm burning 3 of his actions for him to do that. Mockingbird and Rocket are... Actually, you hear a muttering between the two, which is like, did it just get heavier above us? All right. Tom!
Yes.
What would you like to
I would like to try and strike again. Because we need to take this guy down.
So you'll move up to strike. The distance isn't that far away. I'd say you'd be able to close it. Okay. All right. Roll to hit.
17!
And he's going to do a simultaneous attack, and you see him slam his palm down on the control panel, and you can see you do full damage. He is ignoring what you were doing. You're trying to swing at him, and you see his simultaneous attack is him. You can see him putting in some numbers into the control pad.
Yeah.
So roll damage.
3!
3. Okay, so you just scrape the back of his armor. Okay, so we knock down 3 damage. And that will be that. Tom, yeah, we have to X out your turn there. Al.
Al's going to... what's Tom going to do? It's not much he can do in that situation. He's going to be like, "No, Mila, no!"
Okay. Burn a turn. Patrick? Coming back on you.
Oh, yeah, so he's trying to do a thing, so, well, what Patrick's going to do is going to cast a spell called Time Slip.
Okay.
And it will lose him half his turn.
Who, Wither?
Which is... No, my...
Oh,
my,
yeah, of
my,
course, because it's a spell. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then I gain 7 seconds.
Yes, you do. So right now you have 7 seconds to do something that no one else can do. So what would you like to do? We're technically pausing for you to do something.
I'm going to go over and start just slamming on one of the number pad buttons. Trying to interrupt him from doing whatever he's trying to do and get a wrong code in.
Okay, I mentioned that there were 5 control panels, and he's in one of the center ones. So do you want to start slamming on the buttons that he was slamming down, or just buttons on another control panel?
I was thinking of his.
Okay, that's fine. I just need clarity so I know how to resolve this, okay? All right, so you do so. You can kind of see during the time slit, you see his fingers hovering over the buttons, when they're in like mid-press. And you start punching in a bunch of random stuff underneath. And before it takes, a few seconds to get over there, a few seconds to start punching those buttons, and before you know it, time continues where it was. So that's that. That's your action. There is actually not going to attack. He's going to back off of Wither right now. Mila?
Al, can you grab me by the ankles and pull me, please?
That's not going to work.
Wither, you hear a pause as soon as this, and you see him look surprised down at the control panel, and he kind of looks around like he's expecting something. And you hear him curse, and he spends his other action trying to plug in those numbers again. Also, he's incredibly startled that someone's right next to him. Actually, in fact, I'm going to say that startledness actually eats up a few seconds of his action. The startle of you just appearing out of nowhere startles him enough that he actually doesn't have time to plug in more numbers. Just whatever, you fucking derps. I'm using up all your actions. So poorly Melee's pass. Tom.
All right, I'm going to run up to Wither again.
You don't need to run up. You're right next to him.
I strike.
Okay.
Like,
roll a
strut
strike.
up to Wither.
Yeah. 8.
Okay, well, he's going to try parry.
Go for it.
Might as well. He fails. Oh,
Whoa!
Ooh, double 6s.
Yeah. All right.
Another big strike on his armor. Holy shit. Just his before, when you first saw him emerge from the blast doors, his armor was completely shiny, buffeted, new. Now it is scarred up, filled with burnt pockmarks, several slashes, and its structural integrity does not look good at this point. Ow!
Al's going to shaking his head and saying, "I'll come back," start heading towards the bridge.
Okay. You get to the blast doors at this point, and so from now on you're able to see what happens in the cockpit. Patrick?
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cast another spell
Uh-huh.
called Globe of Daylight.
Uh-huh.
They'll take up the rest of my action if I do.
Sure. Where do you want the globe of daylight to be?
Let's see, daylight. I am. Should be. Is it over my head? That is?
A lot of times people have it over their heads. Sometimes they can have it hover over their hands. It's as long as it's hovering somewhere around your body.
All right. I'm going to have it hover over an open palm.
Okay, great. Wonderful. Bear, seeing the surprise of Wither, decides to jump at the opportunity himself, and he also, his keen eyes notice the significant damage to his main body, and he decides to join in with his good pal Tom in keeping that from hurting him. All right, anyways.
Yeah.
From hurting the bedman, Wither still fails to parry by 1.
Again.
Which he is doing continuously. So this -5 roll is working out well for everybody. I think it's is working great, and 7 more damage. Okay. All right. Yeah. You guys reckon, those of you who see body armor get fucked up, you're thinking maybe about 30% integrity now. Mila?
So,
He's so
how
stuck.
was your day?
And you hear another whisper. Is she fucking talking to us? Jesus Christ. Listen, bitch, get this stuff off of us. And
I
we'll leave
wish
you.
I could. why did instead of being mean, we just have a nice conversation because we're both stuck. Oh, I'm sorry. How many are you?
You hear no response.
Well, anyway, the other day I got onto a spaceship. It was pretty cool.
Oh my god.
Going off on a
You hear a
tangent.
female voice ring out. Shut up, you stupid bitch, before I cut out your tongue.
Mila's still talking.
Yeah, I know she is. Al, your turn.
Okay, my guess is I can see what's going on, but there are 3 people in between me and Wither and the control console.
Yes.
All right, Al is going to start making a wide arc around them so that he's on the other side. I don't know how many turns
Okay.
that'll take, but
2.
okay.
2. To navigate through all that stuff, yeah, I'm going to say 2 turns. Bear. Up. Bear?
Bear.
What are you doing, dude?
Bear.
Mic muted? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
There.
I'm going to There. There. Where do you attack him, Bear? There.
There.
Did I get him? I don't know. He's going to try Barry Bear. Oh, shit. I know.
Oh,
I swear.
There.
He got parried.
He insulted you. What do you want to do? Glare.
You want to take the elevator or the stairs?
This is a meme now. We've created a meme.
Yep. Al, your turn.
Oh,
Wait, Al. As you circle around to get to the other side of the console, I would like you to roll me
yeah, of
a
course.
save versus, -2.
Not minus 52. Good God.
No, -2.
Hey!
You succeed. Good. So you get to keep that last attack of yours.
Al, now that he okay, so if I understand correctly, if I miss, there is still danger of hitting my friends, but as long as I hit,
Of course.
I'll be fine.
Now, here's the thing. Normally, you're firing in melee, right? So you still need to make a called shot, right, to hit your buddies. I mean, to hit your target, right?
Right.
To hit your target. So there's going to be no penalties to this called shot, right? But yeah, that's what you need to do. And if you miss the called shot, then we determine what happens.
Okay, I'm still gonna go for just a regular called shot to the body. So
Okay.
yeah.
All right.
So that's going to be +7 because I'm not sick. Yay!
You're not sick.
Well, you are, but just in different ways.
Great.
Thank
So
you,
that
Criana.
does hit the body. That does hit his body. You don't hit your friends. Go
Yeah.
ahead. Yeah, you're behind him. He has no attacks left, so he can't even dodge if he wanted to. So roll damage.
12. Oh,
Okay.
the ones.
Yeah. So you do half damage to him because of laser shiny. You're hitting the shinier parts of him, even though his stuff is getting fucked up. Okay, and we're starting another turn. So before I forget, let's give these guys 3 more melees of cursing at Mila. And Tom, your turn.
Well, I guess I'll just have to attack then. I hit.
He's gonna try parry.
Oh, wait. Yay!
Hey,
He does it.
parry's your attack.
That's my turn.
Al. Ow.
Same thing. He's gonna take an aim shot.
Uh-huh.
So. Ooh, crit.
No.
So, would you like to... You can't roll with the laser. Well, you can if you're in a rave, and it won't hurt you anyway. So would you like to double your dice, or
8d6.
roll once and double your damage?
Nah,
8d6.
86 is more fun. 34.
So
that
half of
is
that is
17.
17. Oh boy.
No ones. No ones. guys.
Interesting. This is interesting. This is very interesting. So you hit him right right in the back, square in the back, and you almost are so close that you can almost press the barrel of the gun up against there, and you blast a huge laser heat, and you can see a big chunk of the back of his armor starts to melt, almost like plastic in a microwave. Patrick.
So he's technically still up.
Yep.
I was going to try to bluff him with this, but I think he's in no particular want to be reasoned with. So actually, he's just going to move the globe of orb in front of the panel, making a sphere of light right in front of the buttons.
Nice. Very good, Patrick. Very good. That just only takes one action to do. Air. Kill. Airstrike. Bear hurt bad man. He's gonna desperately try to parry and fail. Bear, what you gonna do as far as damage goes? Oh, 4. Okay. So this battered armor itself gets yet another slash, but it looks like it's about to breach in any moment. So let me just do this. Gotta keep this for the sake of posterity. Okay. And Mila, your turns.
And then I decided maybe I should go down the other path. But then I thought maybe I should go down the other path. And then I talked to myself saying maybe I really should go down the other path. Do you know what I'm saying? Anyway, I decided not to go down that path. Anyway, let's talk about something else.
Okay, excellent. Do we want to just use up like pretty much the rest of your round doing
I don't
that?
know what else I could do other than just talk their ears. I can think of various.
I got a really great idea, but let's resolve one last thing here real quick.
All right.
Because Wither is looking down. His control panel, in which he was trying to do something dastardly, is blinding him. He is surrounded by 3 sides of individuals. His armor is beat to shit, and you can actually see through his clear viewfinder like a red light flashing in his heads-up display. And he drops his pistol, brings his hand in the air, and he goes, "Okay, you win." He has given up. Combat effectively has stopped. What would you guys like to do in the light of this new information?
Well, let's talk about this,
You're
shall
under
we?
arrest. Oh.
No, let's talk about this, shall we? Do we want to take their surrender seriously? Or do we want to just continue on with the trying to murder?
I think at this point in his life, Al is kind of against cold-blooded murder, if possible.
Well, this isn't cold-blooded.
Of course it is. They're not trying to kill us anymore.
Well...
No. Okay, let me rephrase then. It is against his wishes, if possible, to not murder someone who's not a direct threat to him at the moment.
He surrendered.
Yeah, exactly. Like, killing prisoners is generally frowned upon.
Do you have any way to keep him from moving or doing things?
Net him,
Sure.
but that's pretty much it.
I
That I
don't
can
have
think of.
the magic to net.
Oh, okay.
Do we have any
Well, we
handcuffs?
didn't pick up
or-
any. No, we didn't pick up any handcuffs. We should have,
I have...
but we didn't.
Here's a question. Inferno, how tough is the umbilical cord to move the suit?
Ew. Oh, sorry.
Not baby
Yeah.
mama umbilical cord,
Yeah.
the one that goes in the
Take a moment
EDD
to
suit.
process in my brain. Yeah.
How tough is it?
Yes. Like, if I were to tie someone's hands behind their back with it, would they could just rip through it? I mean, is this metal?
You can
or-
try it. You can try. It's a very, very, very tough polyweave synthetic plastic.
Okay.
But since you've never wrapped anyone up in it before, you don't know how effective it would be. You know it's it's really effective when it comes to preventing people from drifting off into space.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
So is it fair to say in character you guys have just paused and put down your weapons for a moment and discussed what you're going to do with him? Because, once again, I'm fine with out-of-character discussion, right? But we have to assume that some of it is transferred into in-character discussion.
Yeah.
Because you're not psychic, right?
right.
Yeah.
So
We can
I'm willing to give you some wiggle room. So not to say, like, if you guys take 10 minutes to debate out of character, I'm not going to be like, okay, 10 minutes passed, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if you want to keep on debating what you want to do out of character, before we switch to in character, I might just take, depending on what your actions are, I might take into consideration some time to actually plan and discuss amongst yourselves. Make sense?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think this falls along the same vein of why we didn't just keep them in the nets or the magic carpet to wait for backup. Like, do we want to still try and just hold them here till backup arrives, or what? Because they've seen everything that we can do.
And I personally don't think that's a problem at all. I mean, even if we were to say they used magic, we'd be like, we don't know what they're talking about. They can't prove anything, so that's not something we should worry about.
One, I think everybody except for Mila can do that. Mila would be truthful. But yeah, if you guys want to go that route, we can do that.
I can say this: we have something to tie him up with, and Inferno, would I be able to say use escape artist kind of reverse to try and tie something that I don't think I could escape from?
Okay. I might put a modifier in my head, but no, that seems feasible.
Okay.
Just because you're really good at escaping something doesn't mean you're going to be great at tying knots, but it helps. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. No, I completely understand. Yeah, because I was thinking under the guise of, well, I wouldn't be able to escape this. But yes, I completely agree that there might be some sort of penalty to it.
Yeah, but there's a difference between, like, okay, so you would be able to disguise it, but there's a difference between that and knowing how to tie a really good knot.
Right. No, I completely understand.
Like I said, it'll help,
All right.
but
I think
it's not a guarantee.
that we could tie him up. Is that a risk we want to take, though?
That's the question.
I'm going to go with consensus. I think Al would want to risk capturing him alive, but he's also not going to lose much sleep because there's no real way to 100% ensure that he's not going to just turn around and attack us. Or break free or something.
Well, I'm going to put some facts out there. Who are we going to be tying up to? The guy who's really upset about these pirates. What he's probably going to do? Since we've done a lot of Outcast stuff, well, actually, no, he's kind of part of the other thing. Though I don't think this particular thing is that legal. This definitely seems like he's acting on his own, and I'm not quite sure if he's going to be taking anybody in.
Fair enough.
All we remember is he wanted Mockingbird alive for himself.
Yes.
Technically, he wanted to kill her himself, but yeah.
Yeah. He wanted Mockingbird alive so that he could finish her off himself.
What do you think, Criana?
Why I have to ask at the worst possible time?
What do you think, Ice Cream Mouth, Criana?
Nice cube.
Ice Cream Mouth.
So, what do we have to time up with?
Like, the umbilical cord that usually likes for air and tethering and things like that.
A strong polyweave plastic cord.
No. Okay. Let's tie him up and monitor him. Monitor. monorail him.
Monorail him.
I'd
Yeah,
rather
and
not
someone else who
monorail him.
isn't like adhered to the thing can go grab the other guys. See if they're
If they're
they're
willing
different.
to step down.
available.
The people down in that one area, right?
The other one's still fighting against the boarding party, yeah.
Right.
Do you guys want to discuss any? Oh, sorry. I'm going to shut up. There's a pause there. Go ahead.
I'm going to put in my vote to tie him up and bring him to the other dude and see what he wants. It's a little bit riskier than just outright trying to assault this dude, take him out, and try for the other, figure out what to do with the other two. Actually, that is a good point. Those other people are going to be free soon.
Uh-huh.
How are we going to deal with them?
If it is
Yeah.
possible, if we can subdue Wither, we can use him to subdue them as well. Like, say, tell them to stop fighting or something like that. It could help.
I guess I'll be the first one to say I'm not entirely comfortable with that, but then again, I'm not particularly comfortable with the entire situation.
Right.
So, do we want to just simplify this and kill him, or do we want to try to do something really elaborate, try to capture him and do some other things?
You know, I'm gonna kind of change a little bit. I know Al's changed a lot over the course of, what would you say, Inferno, the year since
It's been almost a year in game, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
since the year started, but
It's probably been a little bit over a year, actually, now that I think about it.
But he hasn't completely changed. This guy's a pirate, so Al has no love for him. You guys are making good points that trying to save this guy or keep him prisoner is a very risky thing. And would he
They'll
put?
probably kill him.
Well, yeah. Well, see, that's not really part of the equation because that's other people. That's not him. In other words, that's not.
Yeah, but what's the point in keeping him alive if people
He's
are-
going to die within like 5 seconds.
Right.
So how about this? How about we simplify it, guys? Why don't we just take a quick vote? It's a quick decision whether you kill him or capture him, right? And then after you make that decision, you can decide how you do so. Okay?
All right.
So let's say who votes to kill him right now.
I do.
Okay.
Yeah. Patrick has always been that he would try to like not kill somebody or try to not harm people if they know their intentions are good. This is clearly not a good intention person.
Okay. So we got one for Squee, one for Piff. Anyone else?
Murder.
You could have just said yes, not murder.
Well,
All
Kill,
right.
death, murder.
All right, so three.
Murder, death,
Three. Now, Criana, are you comfortable? I mean, in or out of character? Are you fine? Mila's stuck, so she probably wouldn't see this.
Yeah.
But do you have a big moral objection to this right now?
I, as a player, I don't care.
Okay,
honestly.
so all right, so then there we go. You guys have voted for murder. Yeah, no, that has well,
That
that
needs
does
to be
have
a
a
game
moral
show.
judgment.
Murder.
That totally
But
needs
you
to
mean
be a game
no,
show.
no. You have
you voted for murder. Congratulations.
So he is. So, anyways. So, all right. So you guys have voted to kill Wither, right?
Oh yeah.
So, do we want to go into character then, and you guys can decide in character what you're gonna do?
Sure.
Do we want unpause time now?
Sure.
Show.
We
Yeah.
cool? Okay. So, just a scant second or two, his ion pistol fell to the ground. His hands kind of extended out. He says, "Okay, that's it. I get it. You win." What would you guys like to do?
I attack him.
Okay, roll a strike.
17.
He's going to try and parry because he'd like to not die. Thank you. Roll damage.
10.
And your sword goes straight through his chest. You hear a hiss as oxygen hisses through the breach, and in fact, you can feel your vibro sword vibrate as you feel the release of an environment. The interior enclosed environment hit the environment outside, and you can kind of feel that resistance loosen a little bit as your blade goes right through his stomach. Wither gives a surprised look on his face. Blood forms on his lips. He spurts out, hitting the inside of the face mask, and he slumps forward towards you, very mortally wounded. And he's actually. What I would like you to do is actually roll me a balance check at a penalty of 30, because he is heavy.
Okay. Penalty of 30.
Yeah, so make it higher by 30.
I fail by 6.
So unfortunately what happens is that he lurches forward in his death throw, and he presses up against you, and it causes you to fall back, and you fall to the ground with his body on top of you. Mm-hmm. The vibro sword sticking from the center of his back.
Oh, guys, can you help me?
Al's
Wish I could.
Al's like, actually, that gives me an idea. And he starts dragging at Wither's body and says, Bear, can you help me?
Bear goes to help you out as he goes to retrieve the body.
Can we just drag it off of Tom? Oh, go ahead.
I would like to really quick turn off the activator for the vibro sword if I can.
Sure.
So that it's not, doing the mega damage vibration.
Yeah, so people don't get hurt. Okay.
Yeah.
So Bear is going to help Al get the body off of Tom and start dragging it. In what direction do you want the body dragged?
Towards the carpet.
Okay. All right.
You're gonna lay it
Patrick, what are you going to be doing in the meantime?
He is a little shaken, recovering from sickness, and also he's basically drained all of his magic, so he's feeling a little drained. So he's going to try to recover a little bit before doing much of anything else.
Okay. Well, the good news to all this, though, is that as soon as Wither dies, those of you who are still feeling dizzy, nauseous, sick, get immediate relief. Mm-hmm. So now this is going to be very interesting and very important. What is your strength score, Squee?
My strength score is an impressive 14.
Okay. So I would like you to roll me a D100, please.
Okay. 33.
So you manage. Now here's the tricky thing. You and Bear are strong enough and you're swift enough to get it over to the carpet of adhesion while it's still there. Mila is on top of the carpet of adhesion talking her ear off, and as Rocket and Mockingbird hear other people approach, you hear them say, please just make her stop talking. Jesus fucking Christ, she won't stop.
And then I grabbed Mittens from the giant pillar.
Oh my god.
It was a robot.
Oh my god, what the fuck is she
Making it all
talking about?
space-like.
Al just nods to Bear to kind of help him toss the body kind of crossways across the carpet.
You throwing a dead body at Mila?
No, not at Mila. Your hands are on the very edge. He's gonna. This is a 10-foot long carpet. There's plenty of room where that doesn't involve your hands.
Okay.
The best part is, Mila's sitting there the whole time with, her butt hiked up in the air, and she's just, leaning over, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Okay, so a few seconds after Bear and Al throw the body on an un-Mila part of the carpet itself disappears. And Mockingbird and Rocket, with a surprised grunt and a surprised sound, start to scramble to their feet. Rocket's having a hard time because he's hampered by a certain dead body on him, and you hear him giving shocked, angered responses to seeing the body of his captain. What would you guys like to do as they try to scramble to their feet?
Mila falls
Mockingbird
on her
is alone.
face.
Yes, Mila does.
Al will say very harshly, "Make one move for your weapons and you're dead."
Anyone else wanted to say or do anything?
No, I think that was pretty good, honestly.
Mockingbird will stand up, and she'll look to the corpse there, and you can actually see her now. She has, as mentioned before, raven hair. She looks completely human for the most part, kind of tan skin, very, very dark hair with a white streak in it, and she has very emerald green eyes. And she looks right at you, Al, and she says, "What's to stop you from killing us anyway? Huh? Why don't we go down with a fight?"
Al is going to, in response, he's simply going to stare at her with his weapon at the ready.
Anyone else want to say or do anything?
Tom, standing next to Al. I'm pretty sure we can say that he got up and stood next to Al. Is that fine?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll just hold up his hand and ignite it on fire, and that's it.
Okay. Mila, Patrick?
Mila's face is dented the floor. No.
I don't know about that. She can get up during this time if she
Mila
wants.
sort of rubs her nose, getting up off the ground, looking around, not exactly sure what the fuck's going on.
All right. Patrick?
Patrick is going to be still in the cockpit, looking out towards this. He's actually going to stay in the cockpit for now. If not, actually, I'm going to tell you this. He's going to be actually hovering his hand over the emergency close button.
Oh, okay. All right. Great. So, Mockingbird stares at you, Al, for a moment, and then she starts to take a look around. Rocket finally gets to his feet, but he doesn't immediately go for his weapon. Both their weapons are actually down on the ground as well. And they look down at their weapons, and they look at the body of their captain, whose blood is oozing onto the deck from the giant vibroblade wound that's in his stomach, chest, and back. And they look to each other, and you hear Rocket say, "Yeah, okay, we were just following orders anyway. No point, we're not stupid." They look around to everyone that's around them. And you guys want to say anything in response? I can switch it to a more narrative thing if you'd like. If you're cool with that. Mm-hmm.
All he will say is he will extinguish the fire that was... Tom will extinguish the fire that was on his hand and just simply say, "I believe our captain would like a word with you. So stay here, please."
They comply.
Al's going to kick their weapons away.
Okay. Their weapons are kicked away. You're there in the hall for them, and you actually can hear, now in this quiet, as people are staring each other down, moving things around and not saying all that much, you can hear in the distance a sound, the sounds of fighting from the other ship through the open airlocks there. That itself has died down as well. And a few seconds later, we'll say about 45 seconds later, you see down at the end of the hallway two figures, both Janina Blanco, Blink, of course, and Captain Stephen Ward. And they look down the hallway itself, and Blink points over, and is the first to spot you. And she points over in your direction, and she says, they're right there. And of course, the captain notices you as well, and he's coming. He goes to face you, all smiles at this case, and he goes, "I take it that the man dead at your feet, that's the captain, huh?"
It was.
You see, he moves closer and closer towards you, and he kind of kicks at the shoulder to kind of look at his face, and he goes, yeah. He looks around at your prisoners, His eyes meet that of Mockingbird. Well, one robotic eye and one regular eye. Look over at Mockingbird and he goes, "Hello again. Well, it got a little scary there in our cargo bay. And, shit, one of them would not go down without a fight. Paragon got a little messed up and Beast broke his arm, but no casualties on our end. And you got us a couple prisoners, including you. You." And he points a finger over towards the Mockingbird. "I'm going to have my fun with you, you bitch." But his face turns from a vengeance hatred to outright joy when he turns to address the rest of your group. He says, "Good goddamn job. Shit, we were nervous when we didn't hear from you for a while, but God, you have quite a few tricks up your sleeves. Turning invisible and that sort of shit. I didn't know you could do that."
Al shrugs and says, "Been able to do it as long as I can remember. I guess I just don't think about it often."
Okay, sure enough. And soon after the conversation, Gray and the Captain Ward's co-pilot, whose name is, as I quickly scroll up, Leslie Lott. He goes, Leslie. And sure enough, soon Gray and Leslie go to escort the prisoners back further on to this ship. And Stephen Ward takes another look around the hallway, and you see he looks towards you, Patrick, towards the cockpit, towards the blast door, and he starts walking his way towards the cockpit. And he gestures for those of him behind him, Mila, Al, Blink, Tom, to follow him, right? As he starts taking these slow, thoughtful steps towards the cockpit, surveying the ship. And when he gets to the cockpit, he gets past you, Patrick, and past the blast door, and he kind of gives you a slap on the arm, a reassuring, good job, Pat. Takes a look at the deck himself, and he surveys it for a few seconds. He goes, "Oh, after 4 years, it's good to be back here."
The captain was trying to punch in a self-destruct sequence.
"Oh, was he?"
Yeah.
He says as he looks over the companion. He goes, "Oh, yeah. Well, I'm glad that didn't happen. I would have hated to come all this way just to have my precious Thunderbird be blasted in 1,000 bits." He sits down at a nearby chair and he spins towards you guys and he goes, "You have caught me in a very, very, very good mood. But I have myself a small problem." And he says this with a big grin on his face. "See, I can't pilot 2 ships at the same time. So, Blink was right. You can definitely handle yourselves, and if you can be trusted, how would you like to work for me?"
Tom will raise an eyebrow and look over to Al.
What exactly are you looking for?
Well, I can't fly both the Twilight Covenant and the Thunderbird at the same time. I figured I'd hand the Twilight Covenant over to you. Not to say it's a gift, but as long as you work for me, you can use my ship. Of course, when you're not on the job, you'd have to pay for your own food and fuel and any damage that happened when you're not on the clock, so to speak. But it's hard to find people that can be trusted, that are worthy employees. I mean, if you want to negotiate pay and whatnot, I have to agree you do have an advantage. I'm in an amazing mood. God, you got Mockingbird alive! Oh,
What would we be doing for you?
oh. Jobs, I mean, I mostly hired her as an old cargo transport, so, ferrying food, fuel, supplies, that sort of thing. If you have any sort of interest in doing salvage work, that's another thing. I love jobs come by Freedom Station, and I'll pick a couple of them, and we'll negotiate a contract, of course. Work out wages, I'll take my cut, you take your cut, that sort of thing. How often you want to work is also up for negotiation.
It's
As long as you don't fly off with my Twilight Covenant, I'm quite happy.
It's a generous offer. We'll need some time to consider it, but
Of course. Now, don't let me remind you that you'd be working for you, right? You'd be driving my ship. So I don't want you to misrepresent what I'm suggesting. But yeah, I could use a good crew. And you can handle yourselves against pirates, and you have the good word of an old friend. He looks over to Blink. So, why should I go back to Freedom Station or, God forbid, Outcast Station, try to recruit a new crew when I might have a good one right here? But yeah, you think about it. It's gonna be a bit of a drive back anyway. So, in the meantime, he looks around and he goes, It's been a while, so I wouldn't mind flying this baby myself. He looks over to you, Tom, and he says, would you be up for following me in the Covenant there?
Sure.
Right.
out of curiosity,
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
what are
I
your
thought that was going to be out of character.
No, that was in
He's
character.
equally as happy, so that's fine.
What are exactly your plans for Mockingbird?
Why do you want to know?
Well, I understand that she's done a lot to you, and I'm not exactly going to deny that maybe spacing her or something of the like is not what she deserves, but sounds to me like you... Well, I'm not very comfortable being a party to torture.
Nah, I'm not going to torture her. Not in the traditional way, he says. He pauses for a moment, and his face, his smile fades a little bit, and he says, she and her crew, all these scumbags, or ones just like them, killed 2 of my best crew members and cut out my eye. Pirates like her, the lottery killers, we got 3 of them alive, including her. I bet you there are a lot of other merchants and transporters that have a bit of a bounty. So killing her, probably not the best idea on a financial point of view. He taps his bionic eye. For a moment, he says, I like you, so I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to cut out her eye just the way she cut out mine. There's an old religious book called the Bible. We got quite a few digital copies. Typically the Euros really follow it. Freedom Station doesn't do much for religion, for the most part. But there's a saying in there growing up that says an eye for an eye. So I think I'm going to take that shit literally. If you consider that torture, so be it, but I consider it justice. I'll do her the favor and I won't be laughing when I do it.
I'm not sure what I consider that, so I'm certainly not going to stand in your way. Just remember, there's a difference between justice and cruelty.
Yeah. Thanks, he says, and you can see him roll his eyes just a little bit. But let's talk about better things, okay? The more I think about Mockingbird, the more I think about what these fuckers used to do to my friends. Let's not think about that. Let's think about the future, right?
Agreed.
So, how about we all pour ourselves. I bought a nice bottle of wine for celebration, hoping that this situation would be before us. While we have ourselves a nice little glass here where there's actual gravity, he says. He gives a bit of a laugh. And then we hightail it back to Outcast Station. And maybe on the few days' travel, you guys chew over my proposition, maybe ask me a few questions over the radio comms, and we go from there.
Al's actually going to take off his helmet and say, actually, I could use a cloth.
A cloth?
Just throw up.
Yeah, he's got vomit. In there.
Al's just going to look at him and say, it's better. Just,
Yeah. We got something. We'll find something here for you.
Mila, her face instantly, like, she's a few feet away from you, but, like, her face instantly, like, what's the word? Like, squinches up or, like, squishes up?
Scrunches?
Crunches, yes. Crunches up, and she suddenly looks like she's gonna be very ill.
Uh-oh.
Looking at you, Al.
Well, I would like to also take off my helmet and ask for a cloth or something to wipe off the blood that's dripping from Tom's mouth. Because
Gotcha.
he got hit pretty hard from Wither.
Yes.
Straight to his hit points.
Straight to the HPs, yeah.
Tom, are you okay?
You have no one to drop, Mila, so we should be okay.
I'll be fine. Just need to wipe this off.
Hang on. Oh, that's so gross.
So,
Tom, don't worry, I'll help you.
Bear and Blink go off to some of the side rooms that were used as personal quarters, and they're able to emerge with cloths and a few wipes for those who have blood and or puke that they want to get rid of.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
So out of character,
Gross.
Mm-hmm.
guys, we totally should not take this offer. It's not going to help us at all. It's not at all what we need.
No.
It's not our ship. He has the right to go in there at any time, and he hates things that are not from here.
Did we... that's right, the dog thing.
Yes.
Yeah, it would be interesting if we took it for now just to make some more ice.
Yeah, we might need the job for ice.
And eventually, when we have enough, then we can just give him back his ship, get another one, and then we're scot-free, right?
Also, if you don't mind me mentioning, if that's okay by you guys,
Sure.
he might be open to the idea of you guys buying the ship off of him after a point as well. He says he has no use for having two ships at the same time.
Yeah. But we also... No, it would probably be easier if we were to... because we want an ion drive, essentially, if I recall correctly, right?
It would be
I'm
most
good with
beneficial.
any drive at the moment.
Yeah, at the moment,
Yeah.
I'm fine with any drive that's our ship. But yes, an ion drive
Yeah.
we would have infinite
But-
fuel for.
Yeah.
Since you guys would be driving the Twilight Covenant back, do you want to see the stats of this particular ship?
Sure.
Would that help?
Sure.
Any sort of decision? Okay.
Is it big?
It's
comfortable?
relatively big. The dimensions are in the file that I'm going to be sending you guys.
Okay.
I agree that it might be a good idea, but just keep in mind that, and I agree that, Hannibal on the station isn't exactly safe either, but we're putting Hannibal on a ship that a guy who would probably kill us all has complete access to.
No, we wouldn't be bringing Hannibal onto the ship. We would keep him in the tiny little stars while we're on the ship until we actually buy it or we get another ship.
Wait. So you want to spend days and weeks away from Outcast Station with Hannibal left behind? In an orphanage that anyone can walk into and drag people from? That's even more dangerous than having him on the ship.
What? You just said this is incredibly dangerous, not as dangerous as Tiny Little Stars.
No,
but now
that's not
you're
what I
saying-
said. That's not what I said.
Oh, God.
Wait, slow down.
God.
I didn't say that this is less dangerous than Tiny Little Stars. What I said was that... okay, I'm sorry. Let me rephrase that. I think that being away from tiny little stars weeks on end, or even days on end, is more dangerous than taking Hannibal with us on the ship. I don't think we should be very far from Hannibal until we have a safe place for him.
Okay. I will also add that Mr. Happy Stephen Ward, Captain Face, he did say that a lot of things were open to negotiation as well as how often you guys do jobs for him.
Yeah.
So don't assume that he'll like show up one day and be like, I'm taking this all right now. You know what I mean? Like if you piss him off, maybe, right? But
Yeah.
right now he just made a very open offer. It's a very open offer to he's probing interest is what he's doing, right? So my assumption, my suggestion as a GM is just don't assume specifics just yet, right?
Mm-hmm.
Until you get more information in character.
Acceleration couches?
Yes, not actual physical couches. What they are, it's a field, a couching field. Because when you go Mach 2 or when you accelerate really quick, scientifically you would assume that things inside there would also get the force of Mach 2 against them, right?
Yeah.
But this field prevents that. It allows people from going from Mach 2 to Mach 10 without puking all over themselves.
Yeah,
because of the G forces.
so you don't feel all of those G's in that instant.
Exactly. You don't feel actually anything.
Yeah. That's nice. It's essentially inertial dampeners, in a sense.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that's another way of seeing it.
Mm-hmm.
So no, they're what they are. They're lovely. They're a lovely pair of couches that can be shot out of cannons.
Taffeta.
Acceleration!
Is it Canada?
I said taffeta.
Okay.
Okay.
Taffeta,
8
sweetheart.
distress beacons. Two-way radio system. Escape capsule. 1 escape capsule.
Now this is really handy. This is kind of my outline for any ship. So this is always really handy for anything, any spacecraft that I come up with. So yeah, so it's kind of a glimpse into my own notes as well. But like I said, you guys would be driving this thing for a couple days, so I'm sure you'd be poking around and looking at the systems.
Is it really just hydrogen and oxygen?
Yes, that's the fuel. It's a mix of hydrogen and oxygen.
So, because we could get whatever water.
H2O is water, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's not, like I said, it's not a bad idea. Just as long as we are very clear that there is a large inherent risk in this. Not
For 12 individuals.
Personally, I'm not even sure that's less or more of a risk than where we are right now. So,
Yeah. I like this. I personally think we should do it. That's where my vote is.
All right. I guess I will say that I like the initial jump in pay that we're going to get. It's going to expedite a few things, like being able to buy our own personal ship. If we don't take this, we'll probably have to be very lucky, do something underhanded, or just take a whole bunch of time to get to where we want to go. This will be a very good entry point.
Yeah.
yeah, I can agree with that.
Yeah.
And
This
honestly,
looks everything.
it reduces us having to worry about Hannibal to one person as opposed to all of Outcast Station.
Yeah, and honestly, I mean, if we are going to go with this and go ahead and buy this, if we want to, it shouldn't be that hard to get a gravity generator for this kind of ship.
Yeah, for Alicia. You know,
That's the thing. Jeez.
we also might we could look at it something like this. Hey, what's your face? We want to try our hand at collecting some ice or some ice mining things. So we're going to go off for a few days and do that. And oh, look at the haul we have. I mean, obviously, it would need to be more detailed than that. But
It would have to be under controlled circumstances. Like I was saying a couple of times ago, I'm pretty sure that there has to be some kind of equipment to keep the ice, from melting, like some kind of container or some kind of freezer that.
You know what? I
that
can
were to
tell
do
you
that.
the lore. I will literally tell you the lore of how they mostly do this stuff in orbit.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to assume you spent a little bit of while on Outcast Station, and maybe here's a great idea. Traveling to this point to intercept the pirates, you would have been talking to Blink, perhaps, right? Maybe you asked, like, how do they haul ice? And you know what's really cold? Outer space. I shit you not, 99% of the time they just haul the ice behind them. Or what they do is they attach, if it's a really big chunks of ice, they'll put little temporary thrusters on them and like guide it to where they need
We
to.
just make a couple of walls of ice in space.
Or sometimes what they do is they find an orbital field and they'll try to launch it like a slingshot and like calculate the trajectory of where it will show up. So they'll try to like launch it around the moon and use the moon's orbit as it orbits around the moon to shoot it towards Outcast Station or Freedom Station or Leitka or Euro or wherever, right?
Yeah.
They become very there's some very elaborate ideas of hauling chunks of ice.
Yeah, I guess I had the preconception of it has to be in the cargo
of
bay.
course.
It has to be inside.
Yeah.
You know,
But no.
you know what we could do theoretically. And now, and hear me out because we might need to modify this quite a bit. Let's say how big of the ice walls can we make with the orb? They're pretty big, right?
They're fairly large. I think it's like 100, 180, 40 or something like that. It's like 100, 150.
Okay, so we make a few of those, and then we call up this guy, like, we get away from him for a day or so, right? We call up this guy and say, hey, we found this stuff. It's drifting out here.
That's smart.
We need protection because obviously if we're dragging this much ice behind us, we're going to be a heavy target. So come here, help us. Let's get this to a station. Obviously we'll split the fee. We're working for you anyway. And that way it brings because we do it like this. We found this floating in space. How did it get there? We don't know. We don't have any more clue than anyone else. But here it is. It's just floating here. Let's not waste it. Then we can use his credibility and contacts to sell the stuff. And his ship with the better weapons.
Does it have a duration?
Yeah, the wall of ice definitely has a duration.
Is there anything that doesn't?
I believe the ball of ice.
Yeah, I'm pretty
No,
sure
that has a
all
duration
lies.
too.
Oh, well, shit.
Actually, then this is not very good for us. Because we can't even use it as fuel, because theoretically speaking, if we break it down in the chemical elements, those chemical elements would still have a duration.
There's still magic.
Yep.
So,
It is still magic.
let's just not consider the ball of ice.
What we can do...
Wait. Okay, I'm just gonna throw this out here. What if we're like con artists?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like,
go on.
sell the ice?
Sell the ice and disappear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it just disappears.
I, as Squee, love the idea.
I, as the GM, also love the idea.
I, as Al, have to say he's going to be very uncomfortable with that idea.
But I thought this was a
Oh
money.
man, I need to make another personality that's like really shady. Like, hey,
Yeah.
you want to buy some ice?
Let me be completely clear. I, as Squee, who typically plays thieves in games, love the idea.
Alright, so, guys. Orb can make temporary ice of spells, but can also make permanent water and freeze permanent water. And that does not have a duration.
Oh,
Right.
how much? How much can it
That's
make?
how you would do it.
Well, wait, hang on. We can make as much as we want.
It's
'cause no-
infinite because it has an untapped, you can just keep
Well-
doing it.
Question. Space is incredibly cold.
Yep.
So, like,
We just make
what
it
if
out
you
in
were
space
to just
and-
make a shit ton of water, which would instantly freeze in space?
Actually, there would be an issue with that. And the only
Why?
issue would be because there's no gravity in its space, it would have to freeze not as ice crystals, but as something we could tow. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I really don't know the
evaporate.
physics behind this, but it's possible we create it in space, it dissipates, and then freezes into a bunch of ice crystals.
Yep.
It Does it dissipate?
I don't know.
almost
That's what I'm
positive,
saying. I don't know. I
I'll have
no
to
idea.
decide.
Yeah.
You'd have to try it
Alright.
out.
From
And Inferno
just,
will have to do some fucking research.
I would almost assume since all liquids in space, at least in zero gravity, would start having surface tension and try to be one.
They'd be like
Yeah,
circles.
there would be surface tension. Plus, with the magical item, if you have that much control to generally create a shape of water, I would think that you would be able to create a shape of a circle, a sphere, which is what you want to have in space. That's what it naturally wants to be, is a sphere.
Yeah, that one depends because there's not enough description on create water to.
But the point is, we could do this. We could pull something like this off. Look, we found a bunch of ice.
Let's get back on point.
We found a bunch of ice. We don't know how it got here. We don't have a clue. We just saw it. But hey, if it's here, let's use it. And I'm sure he'd be all too happy to help. I shouldn't say sure, but I would think that he would be all too happy.
All right.
To help.
I like to cross this particular scenario when we have the opportunity. Because at the moment, we don't even have the ship to do all these things with.
Yeah,
True, yeah. We're still in the roleplay. We're still doing a couple days travel while going back towards Outcast Station. It's pretty much where we are in the role-playing world right now. Okay?
Oh, and Inferno, really quickly, just to let you know, Tom would decline a drink because he has to drive. Just saying.
That's okay. Stephen Ward would just look at you seriously. He's like, really? One drink?
Yeah, I'd rather not.
Okay, I'm not. You know what?
The lessons that I took said not to.
Oh, okay, sure. I mean, I'm not to agree. Maybe I'm just biased because I've had more than a few drinks in my past, so I can metabolize it a little bit better. If you're lightweight, I'm not here to judge. It's fine.
Yeah, I'm kind of. Blink, do you want to tell him about the story that I got really drunk off of one bottle of wine?
She's
no,
like,
Tom,
no.
that's just disappointing.
Blink nods.
Blink and Mila look very solemn, I guess.
You dropped me. You can't say anything.
I saved you.
You dropped me.
Blink, defend me here.
No. She says she takes a drink and walks
Mila
out.
gets this look on her face like she just got betrayed.
The ultimate betrayal.
Betrayal. Yeah.
Yeah, the ultimate betrayal. So, are we okay to just talk about the couple days that pass going through? So, would you guys have any questions? Because Stephen Ward did say that he is willing to answer any questions, any of your questions you might have in regards to either working for him or the ship itself on the way there. But his intention is to, once everyone gets to Outcast Station, he wants to pay everybody what he promised he would pay. And then he does mention that, well, maybe, you know, we have a little meeting together and you let me know what you guys think. You know, what you guys say to my proposal, right? And at that point, there would be the negotiation.
Sure.
Are we good with that?
Yeah, sounds good to me.
So do you have any questions about the ship? I'll ask out of character, and Stephen Ward would answer it in character.
Yes.
Okay.
Places that you want us to be, since it's your ship. Is there like a specific place that it needs to be docked after any particular job or whatnot?
Nah. See, the way most things work out as far as Freedom Station goes, how we deal with freebooters, pretty simple, right? You dock at Freedom Station. I give you a job. You go off and do the job, and then until I have another job for you, you do whatever you want. Once again, though, during that period, during that in-between job period, you're completely responsible for repairs, fuel, food, the whole shebang.
And I assume we'd have to keep you informed of our general whereabouts.
If you plan on going any place that if you'd be unable to come back and pick up another job for an extended period of time, yeah, of course I'm going to want to know that.
Okay.
And we'll suss it out during the negotiation of the contract, but in case the Twilight Covenant ever got destroyed, you would owe me X amount of money. You would probably owe me a lot less if it was while we were working versus during. We would suss out the contract in 2 periods, pretty much. During work and off hours, for lack of a better word. And we'll negotiate that.
All right.
But off hours, I mean, I don't need it. We'll have to learn to trust each other, of course, right? I am giving you my ship to hell, but unless you don't plan on flying it into the sun, I mean, I don't got much to worry about.
That would be bad.
Yeah, I reckon so. It'd be a long journey, too, he says. Long, hot journey.
What is the range of jobs that we're going to be doing? Is it more of this?
No. This was this was personal. This was my own type of job. No, unless you really want to be pirate hunters. But this ship isn't outfitted for that. To be honest with you. No, she'd mostly be for hauling, salvage work, couriers, information trading. Maybe a little bit. She has a decent cargo space, and her range isn't all that great. If we upgraded a second fuel pod, you'd be able to get yourselves out into the asteroid belt. Maybe do some back and forth supplying the miners out there. You know, that sort of thing. I know it's not the most exciting work, right? But it's worked.
All right. Does anybody else have any questions?
Not that wouldn't be handled in negotiations, no.
Great.
I do.
Oh, okay.
So if we are interested in possibly buying this at a later point,
Yeah.
if we were to possibly try and install a gravity generator in here,
Mm-hmm.
would the price of that be knocked off the price of the ship, or?
Yeah, well, I would imagine any sort of upgrades to the ship, since it is my ship, I'd have to be consulted on it first. But if you were to put in if you were to pay for it 100% yourself, you're damn right I'd knock off the cost of the ship. You increase the value of it, but I'm not going to charge you for that increase of value since you put your own money in it. Yeah, of course.
Actually, that's why I was going to wait for negotiation. Well, again, we should probably wait for
Don't
negotiation.
Don't worry, you didn't spoil anything, of course. He's just asking questions. He's answering what he would do, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So should we just skip ahead? Oh, sorry. No, sorry, go ahead, Burn. That's it?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's it.
Last call for questions about the ship?
Is it pink?
Yeah, I was going to say, does
no,
it
we
come in
probably
pink?
already
Damn it, Patrick,
Blue.
get out of my head.
Wow. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to skip ahead. The 2 days travel isn't so bad. Sure enough, though, either during when things get paid or whatnot, you might have seen a glimpse of Mockingbird, and she is definitely without an eye now. But she's not. But it's a cauterized wound, right?
Yeah.
But pretty much the prisoners are dealt with and monitored by the other mercenaries that were hired. I called them hired goons, even though they weren't goons. Hired goons.
Is it safe to say Al would have had time to treat... Because he said that a couple of the people got injured.
Yes. Beast broke his arm, and Paragon got a little shaken up too. But yeah, none of their wounds are really significant. How many hit points did everyone lose because of Wither's little thingy?
I lost 9.
Okay, Piff?
0. I was not.
I think
Oh,
I think
wow,
Tom was
okay.
the only one hit, yeah.
Yeah, I was
So
the
Burn,
only
in
one.
the 2 days of travel and Al's care, you're able to recover all the hit points. One interesting thing to say, Al, when you're checking up on Tom, is that the damage is all internal. It's in particular, it's his lungs. It seems that a lot of his bronchi
Mm-hmm.
were withered and dying, and the circulation was cut off to them. If the damage continued, he would have suffocated.
I would tell him, you'll be fine. Just don't try and run any marathons for the next few days.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just gotta pilot the ship. That's all I gotta do. That's not a marathon. Yeah.
So, So, is it okay if we skip ahead to redocking at Outcast Station?
Sure.
Go for it.
Okay. All right. So, luckily there are 2 docks open at Outcast Station at this time when you want to dock. So, thankfully, no one has to attach themselves to the exterior of the station.
Mm-hmm.
And Stephen Ward is more than willing to pay the docking fee for both ships. Okay? So everyone gets paid first and foremost, all right? It was 5 days travel, so your base pay, he did promise you 500 ice per day per person, okay? And then he also did promise a bonus if things were successful. So now, would you like me to let you know what you all get individually, or would you like me to all lump it up into a single sum for you?
Oh, we're
guys?
communist over here. Just put
Single
it-
sum, please.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
All right, then let me just take out ye olde calculator for a moment.
The motherland does not like individuality.
So I'm going to include Bear onto this as well.
Mhm.
Makes sense, because he was a part of that.
Oh, also, how many days were we out?
5 days.
5 days. Okay, I will take into account the Alicia and August staying at the Troposphere.
Okay.
What about Lee? We forgot Lee.
Don't even try.
So altogether, you guys got 17,500 ice.
Nice. Very nice.
Great. So after all that is sorted out, Beast, Paragon, and Gray go off and do their own thing. They get paid. They're very happy for it. They say it was simple work, and they were very grateful for that. Paragon kind of hangs around a little bit until Stephen Ward kind of shoos him away a little bit. And but Blink is invited to this conversation as well. I will say in passing, you might have heard that Stephen Ward is also in negotiation to have her. He's still asking her, what she's going up to now that she's back from being out in the asteroid belt for 15 years, and he's been asking her what she's up to, and she's been giving him very non-committal answers, right? Mm-hmm. Saying that she's looking for other opportunities. If the right thing comes along, then maybe. That a lot of that non-committal stuff, right? But he brings her along to negotiation as well, maybe just to work on her a little bit more. But as far as the negotiation goes, let's role play it a little bit. So he lets you back onto the cockpit of the Thunderbird. Actually, now that all the pirates are dead, it's not the Thunderbird. And soon after the celebration of wine, Stephen Ward happily rechristens his ship, the FSS Thunderbird, yet again. He also makes a comment that he's going to have to do something with the monstrosity of the missile launcher that's coming out the front of it. But yeah. Suffice to say, you all meet back at the cockpit, and even in the 2 days of travel, it has definitely been cleaned up and kind of more professionalized in a way. A lot of hanging wires and whatnot have been rethreaded. The consoles themselves look like they've been scrubbed down, and especially when you pass on by the living quarters, look like they have been definitely cleaned and well maintained. Mm-hmm. He sits down and everyone's fine to seat or stand, whatever they're comfortable with, and he says, "So, you've had a few days to think about it. How do you want to come? What do you think about working for me?"
I think that we like the offer. There is one complication.
Oh?
One of our crew, our group, she cannot handle 0G at all. She's
Okay.
just not good at it. So, considering that we work as a team, if we were to work for you, we would need to get a gravity generator in that ship.
Ah ha ha ha. Okay. All right. I see. Okay. Well, this is a negotiation. How about this? You do one job for me for free, and I'll put one in for you gratis. That means free as well. Some Euro taught me that. So pretty much, you do one job for me, I don't pay you, I take the money I would have paid you, I invest it into a gravity generator. That seems fair, don't you think?
Al would look to the others.
Seems fair to me.
Patrick would nod.
Mila picks her nose.
Pretty much.
Sorry, I don't mean to play her character.
No, I could see her being like,
No, she shouldn't pick her nose. It's okay.
It's a fair deal. We would need the
Great.
grav generator to do the job, but
Would you?
We could possibly do it without her again.
Like, how bad is she in Zero G? I mean,
did you see? Did you see me?
wanted.
No. I was just gonna say, did you see me after the fight?
yeah.
Imagine that every
Got
time
some-
she steps into 0G.
Jesus, how did she even fucking live? Where's she from?
Al kind of
God
just
damn.
shrugs and says, something to do with her inner ear. It's messed up. The lack of balance.
Fucking. Whatever. Pampered, probably. Euro trash, maybe. Who knows? Anyway, yeah, alright. Alright. Yeah. See, I'm really worried because this is we're still in the courting phase right now. He says, "Don't you think that? Don't you think she could maybe suck it up, or maybe you don't use her as a what role does she play on your crew?"
She's our enforcer.
I'll tell you what. I'll give you a nice, easy job that doesn't require enforcing. You guys can handle yourselves. Maybe she doesn't come along for one trip.
How much is a grav unit usually for such a ship?
How much does it cost?
Mm-hmm.
Probably a good 30,000. 30,000 nice. I might be able to pull some strings, get a nice used model for 20,000.
Add a
I know I have
character.
to see what's out there.
Add a character, guys. Do you think we could swing that? Because
Oh,
I'll be
we
honest with
could.
you, I don't like if we're gonna start doing this, I'd like to keep the group together, and I'm not gonna force Alicia to stick there and throw up every day.
Yeah. We could have also just did the mission without her, but it also means that he could have gotten the... This is completely out of character. He could have gotten the cheaper gravity generator, the used version,
Mm-hmm.
for us doing this job. I personally am fine with spending the 30 grand because we have around 300. The trip would require a trip into the Golden Place or going with Rev Fontana. That's the only thing.
And that's definitely doable. I would say this.
Yeah.
Okay. How about a counteroffer?
Okay.
You pull your strings, we'll provide the 20,000, and you get it installed.
Out of character. I thought we were going with the better model, not the cheapo version.
Oh, are we?
That's what I would like to do.
Sure, okay. I'm sorry. Al would say we'll provide the 30,000 if you can get it installed.
Yeah. Considering... Yeah, no problem. No problem. Okay. Tell you what. When we'll finish our negotiations, but before your first job, I'll have you come aboard Freedom Station itself. You guys can spend a little bit of time R&R, right? It gets installed. You can do your job.
Out of character, like I'm fine with that, guys.
Well, if we go to Freedom Station, that means that Hannibal will stay here, which is fine.
Why can't you
that
stay
just
on the
means-
ship?
Well, it's going to get worked on.
Oh,
It's going to get
oh,
worked on.
yes,
People are
got
going
it.
to be there.
Got it. Sorry.
Yes.
Didn't think about that for a second.
So he goes, all right. So we got our one consideration over with, right? Let's talk about specifics. Okay? So, you would be my employees. That's how it works, right? Now, ideally, what I'd like to happen is that for you guys to come on by Freedom Station once a week. I'll give you my contact information so you can dial me up on the link in Freedom Station. I'll let you know what jobs are available. All right. You take a job, we negotiate the pay for it. And then you do the job, you come back, and we're all done. I'd like you to check in personally. I'd like you to check in about once a week for possible jobs, right? Makes money. So most of them will, like I said, probably be very, very simple. Probably only take about, I don't know, a day's worth of work maybe a couple, right? Mm-hmm. Something really meaty and really interesting, something that I think is up your alley and something that the Twilight Covenant can actually handle, I'll throw it your way, right? And on the reverse, if you guys come up with any sort of opportunities that I'm or the people I know might be interested in, then we can negotiate something like that. You guys will practically be freebooters because you're going to be working for me, pretty much. How does that sound?
Two questions.
It would be a contract by contract basis.
Makes sense. Two questions. One's actually for the GM.
Okay.
Do we know like how many days it takes for this ship, our slow ship, to get, say, from like Outcast to Freedom Station, like from station to station?
Let me give you an idea of it. Okay. Its range is 30,000 miles per hour. 300,000 miles. All right, that's its range. And it can go Mach 2, which is just over 1,000 miles per hour, right? Mm-hmm. So it can fly around for quite a few days, right? Now the distance between the Earth and the Moon is about 230,000 miles, right? So, in other words, it depends on where the stations are, honestly. So to get to Freedom Station from Outcast Station, depending on where they are, sometimes might take a day or two.
Okay.
Right?
That's what I wanted. I just wanted to make sure it wouldn't take like a week just to get back there. You know what I mean?
No.
Okay.
No.
Then Al would say, first, and this is more of I guess, housekeeping more than anything. Would there be a way to contact you in case we get held up somewhere, might be late a day or two, or just to give you information you might need?
He blinks for a moment and he says, maybe if you're within radio range of Freedom Station, but other than that, it's a big old place out there.
Right.
If you don't check in after a week or two, I'm going to start sending people to look for you.
Al nods as if it was, I assumed. And what I meant was, if we're in range, do you have a frequency or someplace we can call you?
Yeah, I'll be giving you you can access the link when you get close to or at Freedom Station, because I'm not going to be just hanging around the docks looking for you.
Of course.
I got things to do too. And I'm going to be running my own ship, my own stuff in the meantime. But it's a messenger service that's there on the link. It's a good piece of software. If you don't have it, I'll make sure you have it the first time you check on in. Right?
The other question...
And either...
sorry.
No, I'm not done. And either you'll be able to talk to me directly through the messenger program, or if I'm out and about, you'll hear a message from me.
Okay.
Either way, that's the way to do it.
And the other question would be concerning more of our off time. Now, obviously, this is still your ship, even if we're not on a contract for you. If we were to do another job, is there a take that you take? Is there something that you would want us to stay away from, given that your name's still attached to the ship?
Yeah, first of all, don't do jobs for any other freebooter or anyone else except for me. I don't want you to become... like I said, this is my ship, and I don't want you to whore yourselves out as mercenaries to anybody else. So this contract would be an exclusive contract with me. But let's say, for example, you find a chunk of metal floating out in space, right? Or you answer a distress beacon, and unfortunately everyone dies, right? But their stuff is still good to salvage. Yeah, you bring it up to me, and we'll negotiate it. You'll definitely be treated a lot better than if some sort of stranger came on by, right? You would get a fair take.
Okay.
Let's negotiate the actual take if we want. Right now, let's get into specifics. I figure he takes a look at you for a while. He takes a longer look over at Mila for a moment, a little bit longer, as some men tend to do, and he looks back to the fellows of the group, and he goes, why should we complicate it too much? Let's make it just an even 50-50 split. You find it, I sell it.
Out of character, guys. Thoughts?
I'm totally fine with it.
Yeah. I don't know much in my personal life, but I would assume that finding it and selling it, like having a 50-50 split on that's pretty good. We don't really have that much authority to try to negotiate unless Mila just feels like having a higher number.
Right. That's true. We don't have the contacts he has to even sell the stuff if we get it.
Yeah, pretty much.
So I'm okay with it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm surprised with 50. I'm surprised we didn't get like 30% or something like that. 50 is completely fine with me because it makes us business partners.
You're lucky Mila's hot. Criana, are you back yet? No. Oh, well.
We should be like,
Not
we
convenient,
demand that we get 30% and we're not backing down.
That sounds like something Mila would do. Be glad your player.
Yeah.
All right.
Anywho,
Out of
okay.
character, I'm fine with it. In character, I'm fine with it. Even between
All right.
characters, I'm fine with it.
Okay. So then Stephen Ward says, okay, so we got the finder's fee figured out. All right, 50-50 split. It's not the best business, but you guys did get Mockingbird for me. Oh man, she screamed. Anyway. So let's talk about actual contract work, right? So the idea is you'll come on by, you'll board Freedom Station about once a week looking to see if I have any open contracts for you, right? If I do, you take a contract. During the contract itself, it'll either be a fixed price or we can haggle over it a little bit, all right? But for the most part, it'll be, for example, right? Eurostation needs this Hall of Oxygen over, all right? Pick it up here, drop it off there, right? KBL Corp needs some iron ore delivered from there to there, right? Now, sure, the contracts might take longer than a week or two, right? But as long as you check in for a week, right, and there's nothing available, right? As long as you check in the next week, that's fine, right? You can go off and do whatever you want, right? Do your own freelance work in my ship. Welcome back, Mila. I just wanted you to know during the negotiations, due to Mila's general hotness and the clothes that she wears, he was lenient and he suggested a 50-50 split for any found items in space.
Oh,
So,
nice.
Yeah, that's not bad.
My hotness works to our advantage.
But yeah, and also Stephen was just explaining how like getting jobs would work, which is you guys like physically flying over to Freedom Station once a week and seeing what's available. Some weeks there might be nothing available. Some weeks there might be 5 things available that you can choose from. That's pretty much what he's saying. Make sense?
Yeah.
And because the job itself, he's not going to pay you a fixed rate. He's going to pay you a percentage of that contract, right? So, for example, hauling ore from one place to another, right? He's going to get paid. The job is worth, we'll say, 10,000 ice. And he'll be like, okay, well, since you're just hauling it, it's my ship, you guys get 30% of it, right? And it can be negotiated and haggled a little bit when you pick up the contract, right? If it chooses. That's kind of how things are done on Freedom Station. It is And you're going to kind of learn too in character. So I'm comfortable telling you this out of character. Out of all the stations, floating stations, Freedom Station deals with freebooters, independents, freelancers most often. So they're very used to the idea of doing making contract work for other people, right? So that's pretty much what Stephen Ward has become. He's a Freedom Station contact. So anything else that they need to go over? He goes, oh yeah, all right. So the nasty business, right? Okay. So for any job, when you're at Freedom Station, the job requires a lot of. I'll pay for the fuel for it. You know what I mean? I'll pay for if any sort of small damage happens during the job itself. I'll pay for it as well, all right? But that's when you're on the clock, all right? That's what I'm going to say. It's an old term. But when you're on the clock, I'm responsible for expenses because it's my ship and you're my crew, right? When we're off the clock, you're responsible for all other expenses, all right? That's going to be the fee of using my ship when you're not doing one of my contracts. Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So on the very unfortunate incident